to the southeast at around 55 miles per hour. This is including areas like Dover. There's Route 79 as well, a little bit farther to the south and east. We're talking areas near Cumberland City as well. You can sort of see how this system, this line here, is showing a lot of symptoms of having those strong gusty winds with it, as well as heavier rainfall. And there's that area of circulation, thinking just north of Dover, but you can also see just south of Dover how it has a little bit of that bow shape, kind of looks like the end of a bow and arrow. That's sort of showing us that this also has damaging wind gusts ahead of it. So this is a radar indicated tornado warning. It's just picking up circulation within that cloud cover as it's moving to the east. But what we are certain about is that this definitely has those straight line and potentially damaging wind gusts. So we can expect down trees and power lines. Don't be surprised if there's some hail with this one as well. If you are in the path of this storm, you need to get into your safe space right now. Let's take a look at some of the storm threats that we're seeing with this. Obviously, we were talking about the heavier rainfall, but we're also talking the gusty wind, and you can even see that hail threat in there as well. That's what that pink and purple color is indicating for us. This storm moving again at around 55 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and just throw a track on this so we can see sort of who's in the line of this one next as we go through the next 30 to, let's call it around 45 minutes here, with this tornado warning expected to expire at 4:30. But the severe thunderstorm warning goes much later than that. So Dover, we are talking around 4:21. That's in the next 1 to 2 minutes. So if you are in the path of this storm, absolutely need to be getting into your safe space. Indian Mound at 4:29, Cave Springs 4:35. If it continues until around 4:35, after right now the warning is said to expire, we can expect it in Cumberland City at 4:35. There's Houston County High School as well at around 4:36, and Palmyra at around 4:43. This morning. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is mostly because of the radar indicated rotation that we're beginning to see moving through Stewart County. On top of that, the potential for just damaging straight line winds. So let me go ahead and show you the velocity, the wind speeds. This is us looking inside this storm to get an idea of just how fast some of this wind could actually be coming through. And what we're going to do is sort of click around. It's going to give us a radar estimated amount of the wind speed, and you can see that number in there. This is within that tornado warning, winds of 60 miles per hour. That is certainly enough to cause some power outages and maybe some down trees as well. We're going to be dealing with heavier rainfall, which could certainly cause flooding in some areas of poor drainage. So like I was saying, if you are in the path of this storm, you need to be getting into your safe space. So let's talk about that right now. Again, this is a tornado warning that has been issued for Stewart County. If you're just tuning in with us, you want to get to the lowest level of your home. Best place is going to be a basement. If you don't have a basement, it's an interior room, whether it be a closet or a bathroom. You'll want to protect your head from any flying debris. So take in pillows, blankets. If you have a hockey helmet, a football helmet, baseball helmet, whatever it may be, you want to prevent things from falling around over top of you. And on top of that, it's at night, so don't try to go out looking for this. The sun is not up yet. That's also going to cause some issues for us as this storm system continues to work its way through. Let me clear out that velocity we were taking a look at. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning that is also in effect for parts of Montgomery and Houston counties. This goes until 4:45. So I know we have that tornado warning that is in effect for Stewart County, but this entire line of storms right now really extending from southern Kentucky. I mean, we're talking from Trigg County, Christiana County, all the way down through even parts of Humphreys County and Benton County. We're still expecting winds between 40 to 50 miles per hour, heavier rainfall, as well as that potential for some hail on top of that. And again, this radar indicated tornado warning that we've been tracking out for Stewart County. So this does not mean a tornado has been confirmed on the ground. All this simply means is that we're seeing things on our radar systems that are showing us a little circulation in this storm. And this is what we're talking about. I know it doesn't look all that great right now, but what this is sort of showing us with our rotation detector is where this rotation is within this storm. We're looking at some greens, we're looking at some reds. What does all of this mean for us? Well, it means that this sort of rotation that we're looking at is sort of not all that broad. It's sort of tightening itself up. And as it does so, you can see those reds and those greens that are right next to each other. That's what tells us that this storm is starting to spin. We're starting to see a little rotation in there. And that's why this tornado warning has, in fact, been issued for parts of Stewart County. Let's go back to the reflectivity. I want to show you the heavier rainfall that's in this, as well as that hail component again, because those are things that we're really going to end up seeing through the entire area as this storm system continues to work its way through. We've had a lot of reports already well west of here of heavier rainfall, gusty and potentially damaging winds, and this is really just the start of all of that this morning. So here's the big picture. Let's throw things in motion. You can really get a good idea that all of this rain, these showers, these thunderstorms, are starting to really just intensify. They're firing up. That's why we're getting these severe thunderstorm warnings, some of these tornado warnings as well. You can see a line of showers really extending from parts of Sumner County through Robertson County, Cheatham, even getting into the northwestern portions of Davidson County as of right now. In Nashville, getting some light rainfall, but there hasn't been all that much through the metro over about the last 2 to 3 hours. We are starting to see some heavier rainfall, though, from Pleasant View, Greenbrier near Ashland City, just north of Dixon Springs, and moving in through Dixon County as well. Now, the good news is about this tornado warning, while it is still in effect until around 4:30, it does look like the rotation in here is broadening a little bit. All that means is that the rotation is weakening. We're starting to see that rotation fall apart, which is certainly some good news. But again, this line of storms is still going to have winds of up to 40, 50, maybe even 60 miles per hour in some locations. So if you are in the path of this storm, I mean, you still need to think about getting into your safe space at this point. Let's throw a track on this again so we can get an idea of our updated times of when this is going to arrive. You can see the latest radar scan we just got there. So that storm has now moved on from Dover. We're going to start looking at areas to the south and east a little bit more, areas like Cumberland City near Cunningham as well. So Cumberland City, we're expecting this in about the next 10 to 11 minutes or so, around 4:33. Palmyra at around 4:40, Sladen at 4:45, and Cunningham at around 4:46. Because I'll tell you what, this line is definitely going to hold together. It's the rotation that's starting to fall apart. But within this line, we still have those damaging and gusty winds. We have Hopkinsville as well, which is getting a lot of heavier rainfall as well as gusty winds. As a matter of fact, let me show you Hopkinsville real quick. Here's a live look from the First Financial Bank, and there's that heavier rainfall. You can see the flags just whipping back and forth very quickly here. So just sort of the sustained wind in itself is upwards of 15 to 20 miles per hour, but we could see gusts upwards of 40, 50, and even 60 miles per hour. So that heavier rainfall, those gusty winds are certainly going to continue to cause problems for us. And we're getting some reports now. Looks like there's a large area of winds that are 60 miles per hour plus. That might even be moving into parts of Montgomery County as well. Let me take you back to Forewarn real-time radar so we can get an idea of what's coming next. It's this main line of storms that we're tracking right now, all the way from Hopkinsville, Oak Grove. You're in the path of this one next, as well as Clarksville. Let's talk about Erin for a second here in Houston County. We'll be in the line of fire with this gusty wind, heavier rainfall, and the potential for some hail as well. But the reason that we are still with you is because we do have this tornado warning that has been issued for Stewart County. It's set to expire at around 4:30, which is in about the next 4 minutes or so here. So we'll see if that warning is in fact allowed to continue. It does look like that warning will be continued through at least 4:30. That heavier rainfall, the gusty winds, if you're in the path of this storm, you absolutely need to think about getting in your safe space. I want to take it out again to talk about this main line of storms, which again is really moving to the east at a good click here. We're talking 55, even 60 miles per hour in some spots. So let's get a look at this entire line. Let's drop it to the southeast at around 55 miles per hour. We'll get a look at the next couple of counties that'll be with us. So Stewart at around 427, Oakwood at 430, Oak Grove at 431. You can see a little bit of an update with that actually. So Oak Grove still 431, Cave Spring at 431, Tennessee Ridge at 431 as well. That's in about the next 5 or 10 minutes. Woodlawn 433, Cumberland City at around 434. That's for the main line of storms. That's not for where that tornado warning is. This is for this entire line of strong to severe thunderstorms. That's really just been packing a punch through parts of southern Kentucky, the western parts of Tennessee as well. But then again, there's that tornado warning that's still in effect for Stewart County. This goes until 4:30 this morning. Time right now is 4:27. If you are just joining us, we are under a forewarned weather alert all morning long for this line of potentially strong to severe thunderstorms that are working their way through. Let's see if we can get an idea of where, if anywhere, that rotation is on our rotation detector. You can sort of see a little bit of broad rotation right now. There's Throckmorton just to the south of Cave Spring as well, and Stringtown. It looks like this rotation's trying to get its act together again. So we're going to have to just kind of watch all of this as this storm continues to mature and it continues to intensify. Remember, we didn't get all that much during the day yesterday or even overnight last night. So the atmosphere has been charging itself up for a good 12 to 20 hours at this point. So as these storms have been moving through, they're moving through a very moist environment. They're moving through a very just sort of energy-rich environment, and that's what's been kind of firing up these storms over the last 3 to 4 hours, and it's really been intensifying them. I'm going to walk back over to the wall because I want to show you that whole line that we were talking about again. And remember, we were talking about that bow shape. We tend to call it a bow echo. It's a fancy word. All it means is that with this storm, this line of thunderstorms from Paris, Dover, all the way up through Hopkinsville, even gets to the middle parts of Kentucky. See how it has that bow shape to it? Looks like the end of a bow and arrow. What that tells me, what that tells us as meteorologists is behind all of this, you're getting strong, gusty, potentially damaging winds. So we're talking things like power outages, down trees, maybe some blocked roadways, certainly going to see some down tree limbs at the very least here. With these storms moving as fast as they are, I don't think flooding is going to be that much of an issue. Yeah, there'll be some areas of poor drainage that have a tough time keeping up, but something that we are going to see is drastically reduced visibility as these storms move through. So if you're getting ready to leave, wait an extra 10, 15 minutes. Let these storms go through, and then we'll pretty much be in the clear because there's not a whole lot behind this other than just some lighter rainfall. But again, we're still with you right now because of a radar-indicated tornado warning that's moving into Stewart County. Now, the time right now is 4:29. This is set to expire at around 4:30. So we're going to stick with you as long as this warning is with us. We're going to see if this warning is allowed to expire, if we get any updates on it. But for right now, that's our big concern, is this radar-indicated tornado warning. Here's an updated scan from our radar site. That heavier rainfall has moved on from Dover, but we are now looking at areas like Woodlawn near Dotsonville, Palmyra, Cumberland City, and Cunningham as well that are really just going to see this heavier rainfall move through. That severe thunderstorm warning has just been reissued, it looks like, for Houston, Montgomery, and Stewart counties. That goes until 4:45. Looks like all it did here was it took off sort of the back end of Stewart County, where that heavier rainfall has certainly moved out of the area. But this tornado warning is still in effect right now. It does not look like, I've not gotten any word that this is about to expire from the National Weather Service. So we're going to stick with you here until all of this can go through. Looks like the circulation is falling apart. So that tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire, it looks like. But let me take a couple more minutes of your time here because there's still a lot we have to talk about. From Hopkinsville, Oak Grove, areas like Clarksville, Waverly, Dixon. We still have areas through Humphreys County, Hickman County, Dixon County, Cheatham, eventually Williamson, Davidson, Robertson. Also, let's not forget southern parts of Kentucky from Todd County, Logan County, Simpson County. We're still going to get this heavier batch of rain. So let me take you a little bit farther north. There's Hopkinsville, Oak Grove, Pembroke, Elkton, near Russellville, Lewisburg, Auburn. We're still going to get that batch of heavier rainfall as well as those potentially strong and damaging wind gusts as well. So it does look like the good news is for now that this tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So it does look like we're going to toss things to break for now. If another tornado warning were to pop up, we will be right back here with you, wall to wall and full coverage.